Yeah, yes, sir. All right. So once again, good evening, everyone. So this very
Good
class
evening,
is
sir.
yeah, this class is going to be focusing just on the BTC updates. Yeah. So this is the BTC chat. We're going to go straight into what we have for today. Studio and BTC. So let me take us all the way back to what happened during our last update. So our last update, if you can recall really well, it was around this zone. We really long BTC update. So it was somewhere around here. Then we had no, sorry, it was around here. Yeah, as I can recall, there was no massive drop below. So from here we had that rally, and that was previous update, right? So for today's class, we're going to be focusing on what is happening currently in the market. Now let's put out our key zones first. I respected that tab, but I'll still draw our attention to them. Now if you check out, this is our key demand zone. This is our two key supply zones. This and this. Those are our key supply zones. Then currently this is our key demand zone, right? So we saw BTC breaking from this point. We are seeing a clean divergence that formed there, and that brought us all the way down. This was a very clear divergence on the 1 day time frame. That led us to where we are today. So now back to that is just giving us previous updates. They are giving us flashback on what happened previously. Now see what happened here. This was the key demand zone that needed to be tested. So all of these movements was just basically doing its normal bumping, but this move, this dip was very much needed. And I thank God that we had that at least at the right time. So after this huge spike, what next? Now whenever this occurs in the market, we must or we will always usually expect what we call uh, feel the feel of imbalance, right? But market to fill up the imbalance. Now, if you check out where is that imbalance, this was the imbalance itself, and now dip, this spike occurred. Then it won't be just easy for market after this to just from here start pumping. What is doing now is called the accumulation phase, where people are getting in, people that are trying to sell panic are trying to sell, some are buying, some are selling, which is just a season or a period of uncertainty, accumulation, buyers entering the market, panickers selling off, and all of that, just ranging. That's why you're having this. Now, don't forget that all of this play and, did I say, activities occurring inside a bigger time frame demand
Huh?
zone, a bigger demand zone, which is our 1 week demand zone. You can see that clearly from here, right? From here, this is our 1 week demand zone. Then I'll take that out, take us back to the 1 day. You see that even the 1 week, or rather the 1 week is confirming that we are at the right spot, right? So now let's go back to 1 day. So now 1 day is telling us the accumulation phase is still, you know, in progress. And how do you know that we are done or we are almost done with this phase? It's a very critical point and it's very dangerous. That's why most persons just stay away from futures or high leverage trading, focus on just buying on spot, right? And that is the safest way to go about it. Because right from this point, this is where the accumulation phase started after that massive spike, which occurred right from the demand zone. I already explained to us why this phase is occurring because people need to get in, sellers need to get in, those that are panicking and selling off, people that are accumulating and so buying. So there's a huge let's say phase of uncertainty at the same time accumulation ongoing. So now the first started from here, came down here, went up, formed a lower low, rather sorry, a lower high, came down. Now note how it's coming down with breaking period structures, making this lower high a valid um, downtrend, right? Move. Came down again, form another lower high. Now coming down, what happened? Broke this structure, making it a valid downtrend. Came down, form another what? Lower high. Now coming down here, it couldn't break this structure because that was what we were expecting. But now there's a field of imbalance here that this guy needed to fill up if at all it was serious to do that. And the next move as expected should be below here, right? Then what next should be another lower high, continue like that down to this demand zone maybe before taking off. Or maybe if the sell pressure was too high, they maybe just break below. But it couldn't do that. Instead, what happened? This very zone, let me remove all of this stuff so that we have a cleaner chart. Now, we understood that from here it was making lower highs and lower lows, breaking previous structures, and still obeying the normal principle of how a downtrend should operate. Not until it went to this point. That's where it went against that principle. So now I'll give us, let me just take this out and I'll show us what happened next and why it is important for us to take action at this point, at this critical point. Right, so now I think we have a cleaner chart and that will help make things better. Right, so it couldn't break this structure, which is a good news, and that would be a standalone confirmation that yes, we are getting up. But instead, right, I'm trying to add some person, so please just give me a few seconds. Okay, let's continue. So it couldn't break. Please, as I'm coming in, try and mute yourself. Thank you. So it couldn't break this low, which was what it was supposed to do if it wanted to resume in its downtrend, right? This is what it was supposed to do. It was to resume in its downtrend. But instead, what happened? It came here on a double bottom, which we all know that price action. That's a very nice pattern. There's a price action. Then broke this structure here, both. Now that happening makes this a valid demand zone because for this very structure, for this very zone to be able to break this structure, that means enough liquidity is here to make that move happen, right? And overall, if you check out, this is a falling wedge. This is a falling wedge. And if I should just do a quick research on how falling wedge pattern looks like, what it presents, you see that falling wedge pattern always goes like this, right? In a breakout above, in a breakout above, breakout above, in a breakout. So that is how a falling wedge pattern always reacts. And that's what we're having now currently in the market. But we don't just engage at any point. You wait for that confirmation. So now this is a very good signal the market is giving us that okay, from this point, I've been going all the way down, forming lower highs, forming lower lows, breaking previous structures, right? Then at this very zone, I couldn't go below, but instead, what happened? I formed a double bottom, which is a very strong price action pattern. And then I didn't just form that double bottom and leave it halfway. I was able to gain more liquidity at that zone to break this previous structure. Right? I was able to gain more liquidity to break this previous structure. Now, this is what is going to happen in few hours from now. This market is going to react. Let me take off all of this now. So what is going to happen in a few hours, or maybe call it few hours from now, let's put it that way, is that this guy is going to come down to this demand zone, right? Then pick up the remaining liquidity here and break this zone. Because now it has broken this key demand zone. It has broken the first demand zone here. Please, as a family, mute yourself. Thank you very much. Right, let's continue. So it has broken the first structure here, right? Now, what is going to happen now is in a few hours from now, you can also check that out with me. Okay, Coco, you say having voice issues. Can you hear me? You just confirm from the chat option so I know that everybody is following me. Or at least two persons just confirm. Can everyone hear me, please? All right. There is okay. Thank you. All right. So let's continue. So now it broke this structure, which is a very, very vital move we've been all waiting for. Because I'm sure each and every one of us have been longing to see BTC make that kind of move above. So breaking this structure is the very first structure BTC has been able to break in so many days of ranging, right? So many days of ranging. Right from this point, if you check out, it has just been consolidating here and it broke up below, consolidating. So this is the first move it has made above, breaking the key structure, meaning there's no liquidity here to make that happen. Now, what's going to happen now is price is coming down to that point to take pending orders from smart money, right? Then once that is done, it's going to target the next structure. And where is the next structure? That's here. And once it breaks that next structure, which is almost close to this one, I'm sure it's going to also target this one in breaking it. We have this also as our next target. Then most likely price will most likely want to test this trend line, right? And then all the way up to the next supply zone. So for now, how BTC reacts at the supply zone, I can't tell for now till we get to that point. But for now, what we are going to be expecting in a few hours, maybe a few days from now, is BTC coming down to this very zone, right? Sorry, let me just add two more persons so that we can just speed up things a bit. Please, as I'm coming in, try and meet yourself. Thank you very much. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so as I was saying, BTC has succeeded in making the first key move after a very long period of time we've been waiting for. And just to make a recap, that's for those that are joining us now. I'll just take that really quickly now. So we're just looking at BTC charts, and to make it a bit convenience for those that are coming in, we observed on the 1 day time frame a key demand zone at this point 42K, 43K, 41K rather. And if you can check out with me, you see that it was from this zone that price was able to break key structures, making it a very, very valid zone. Now, meaning that all of these bullish move with just noise in the market, and those that must have enjoyed this are those that engage at this point. So, meaning now, why I'm saying noise in the sense that it will definitely come down to this zone because smart money has pending orders here, and which was why we had this very huge spike. Now, whenever you see a spike like this, it always tells us what that there was a huge liquidity to trigger this, right? And most times when this spike occurs, it doesn't just come all the way up. It takes time to accumulate for two reasons. First is because fear sets in the market. People that are trying to panic sell, are taking off their maybe closing their positions. Others that are trying to understand, or those that already understand the market psychology and the rest, are buying in. So that phase of uncertainty, huge fear, extreme fear, is why we always have accumulation phases like this, and which is what is ongoing in the market. So now, how do you know if this phase is ending, or how do you know the next move is what we're looking at before some of us joined, and we went as low as the 4 hour time frame. Now, this was where the phase, this whole accumulation phase started, which was at this point. And if you check out with me, you also observe that the first structure that was broken below was this. So from this high, we broke this point, right? This was the high. So it came here, formed the lower high. The lower high was able to break the previous structure, which was this. Came here, formed another lower high, right? And it was able to break this structure. Came again, formed another lower high here. Now, this is where our interest is, right? And this is was why this zone class was arranged at the current point prices. Now, observe very well that at the current price, at the current market price, see that BTC wasn't able to, let me take this off so that I have a cleaner chart. All right, so at the current market price, BTC wasn't able to break this structure. Instead, what happened? It formed a double bottom. And from price action, we know that double bottom is a very strong and unique pattern in the market. Now, forming a double bottom is not enough confirmation that price will get back up. It's just a good news for traders, but it's not alone. It's not enough to conclude things. So now what gave us that confidence that there are good bullish signs and signals is that it broke this structure here. This 4 hour time frame which has a huge probability setup. So it broke this structure here and came up here. Now what that means is there's enough liquidity to break this structure, meaning smart money have pending orders here. And that being the case, price must not will must definitely come back to this point. How long that will take is what I can't tell. But it must definitely come back to that liquidity zone and pick the remaining pending orders to break the next structure. And where is the next structure? Yeah. So once that happens, and this very one is close to this one, so we can just merge them together. Once that happens, the next structure is this point. So price will definitely get to that point. Then what next? You test this support trend line, price action, as you all know. Then up to this OB, our supply zone. Now, what will happen in this supply zone, I can't tell you for now till we watch and see how price reacts, right? Till we see how price reacts, it could just retest a bit and then break out. Why? Because all of this is occurring inside our 1 week demand zone. So there's enough liquidity. If we can break and succeed in breaking all of this won't be a challenge for it. It can easily react a bit, then continue going up. But for now, the update is that if you want to position yourself in terms of buying good coins, buying good out, then this should be the point. But this should be the first you should come in for long term. Because from here now, what we are going to be expecting is nothing more than basically breaking these points. Definitely you should be able to test or react to this supply zone, then get to the next supply zone, form a lower high, sorry, form a higher low, yeah, then break all the way up. So I think we have just 7 minutes for this class to end. So that's why I don't have to call our attention. So if you have any question, if you're not clear on anything, or you're trying to look for more ways to be clarified on it, feel free to ask. So I've used the remaining 6 minutes to trash our questions. Thank you. You can drop your questions on the chat option, then I'll just check it out. So I haven't seen any question yet. Is there any question, observation, or any contribution, anything? All right, so let me also use this time to make us understand something. This is more like a still like a free info. Now, after this coming bull phase that is coming up, right? Because if you look at the 1 week time frame, the bigger picture, this is the demand zone. This is the active tool. So if you use your PIP or trend based tool, you see that. Okay, I think you have a question. So what do you mean by supply zone? Sorry, I can't use. Okay. Let me use 1 day time frame. Take 1 week. You have only 5 minutes for this class to end. Just pray I can answer all those questions now. So supply zone is what is you can also some persons use the word resistance. You get so supply zone is where sellers gather from the name supply. So if you are supplying something, it means you are giving it out. You are selling. So that's the idea behind it. Supply zone. So this was where sellers were able to gather aggressively and push this price below very structure. So that's why I called it a supply zone. I also call this one a demand zone because it was from here buyers were able to aggressively push this price to break these structures here. So that's what I mean by supply and demand zone. Please, in case you don't understand, just let me know. Is there any chance that the price will go below the bottom? Sure, there's a chance, but the chance is very, very slim, like extremely slim for that to occur, unless there's a very strong fundamental that supports everything. But for now, I think the chances are very slim because already this is a very nice move the market has created, right, by breaking this structure. So once it gathers the remaining liquidity, you observe it very well because you still need to observe and pick back up to break this other one, then we are done. Please watch smart money. I heard you mention it during your analysis. Okay, smart money simply is, the big banks, big institutions, they are the ones I term as smart money, right? Because truth be told, we are not the ones that move this market. They are the market makers. $100, even thousands of dollars, billions of dollars can't move this kind of market, right? It's a very large market that even millions and thousands of dollars can move. So the billions of dollars that are being pumped in is what actually make all these huge moves time to time when you see dumps and spikes like this. So and bumps like this, right? So those moves are triggered by smart money, the big banks, the big institutions. So that's what I actually mean when I use the word smart money. Clearly understood. Clearly understood. My problem now how to build books that is zones. Uh, that is one challenge, and you're still working on another course. So hopefully from next year we should be able to trash all of that. So supply zone is just like resistance and support. Yes, supply, no, not support. Supply zone is just like resistance, right? So where sellers gather, this is the supply zone, and they're able to aggressively break the structure. So that's why you term the supply zone. This one is the demand zone. Because from here, buyers we also able to break all of these structures. All right, so I think there's no more questions. We have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left. And if you should check out very well, you see that even on 1 hour, BTC is still making that move below. So even if you have to long this coin now on futures, you can enter a very nice position around here. Long it all the way up to this point. Stop loss will be below here because anything below here means you're going all the way down to 42, 41K. So this can also act as a good signal for anyone. Some persons that understood this concept already can be shorting from here, but it's risky to short from now. Prefer you buy. All right. So in the absence of any other question, I think we're done for today's class. All right. Thank you very much, people. So good enough. This class is recorded. Yeah, currently I'm recording the class, so the recorded version will be dropped on our YouTube channel in case you want to visit this class. All right, so that'll be all for now. Good night, everyone.